Hello.
Welcome back.
Welcome back,
Unveiled and
motherfuckers.
Unhinged.
Here we are again.
Listen,
It's us. Yay!
we're here.
We're here.
With Margs.
Oh, by the way, we went to Pepe's today and got margaritas.
At 10:45 a.m.
We were like banging on the door. They were like, "Would you like to come inside?" I'm like, "Why?" Because we look like alcoholics.
The fact that she was like, "Well, where are you?" We're like, "We're in the,
In the
parking
car.
lot."
We're in the car waiting to have margaritas. Can we get them to go, please? And she said yes.
She was like, "Y'all need help. Why are you here?
It's the
Literally,
most delicious.
why are you here?"
I just hate how like every time we have a podcast, we get drinks and they're just not that. They're not a. They're like, but this is
like chef's kiss.
Today. We're talking about
Nightline.
Oh yeah. So
Which, by the way, I was blown
BBL culture.
away. BBL
Yeah.
culture, facelift culture, all of that is now no longer.
Right. Are we doing this in 2025? Are we still doing this?
I feel like you and I have had this conversation multiple times.
We have had this conversation on our own, just
yeah.
as is, like us getting Botox and filler and all the things. It's kind of like, are we still on that trajectory?
Listen, I think that people are still on that trajectory, but after watching that, I'm like, we
Whoa.
very obviously don't need to be on that trajectory.
Well, a while ago, Sade sent me this video about this. She was a doctor. She was an injector, and she was talking about how like people don't need to get filler, but like every 14 years. Like there's no reason to keep filling your face with the same shit over and over. It stuck with me because I'm like, because it can migrate, which is one thing, but it doesn't really go anywhere. And so when you're injecting someone, and I'm not a doctor, so don't shoot the messenger, but you know, you're constantly injecting and adding more product and adding more product. It's like, where is the product going? Eventually your lips are just going to fucking explode.
But I also feel like it's important to say that this is like at the height of when you were going through your like getting rid of your filler,
I dissolved.
Like you were dissolving
at
that point.
Yeah.
So I feel like you needed to see that like.
So the Nightline show was talking about, it was like a documentary on
Hulu, I think.
Yeah, and it was talking about basically like getting facelifts at a young age. And there's this podcaster, and I wish I could remember her name. Maybe we can put her link. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But she is 34, and she had, on her journey, stunning, but got her filler and Botox, and holy shit, her career took off because she looked amazing. But over time...
But how old was she?
Oh, she was definitely like late 20s, early 30s to begin.
I don't know why I was thinking she was like 40.
No.
So she was like, I think she was like 35.
But no, now she is.
Right.
But like she wanted to dissolve everything, and she went to go dissolve everything to dissolve the filler.
Overfilled.
Right. And what happened was the elasticity in her skin was now gone.
Correct.
So she looked older than when she fucking started.
And deflated.
Deflated. To the point where she was like, I think I want a facelift. And then the documentary is talking all about like, is it proper to like get a facelift in your 30s? And I'm like, hell fucking yeah. Because if you think about it, you're not injecting yourself with poison, whatever. I love poison. I love Botox. Like I'm not dissing it, but you're now like it's a permanent resolve to like a temporary problem. So it's kind of like,
I felt like the biggest thing was that it was the filler. It wasn't even the Botox for me. My biggest takeaway from it was the filler and the fact that like,
oh my God,
you do get to a point because it's like, you know, like you go in and you have this or that, and you know, the quick fixes.
That's what we want. We want quick results.
Fucking filler.
Right.
And it's like
the guy. Remember the guy?
Yes. Oh my God.
This guy was 18 years old. He was like, he was going through a lot of changes, and he was like trying to be.
Lip.
Yeah. Oh, he looked insane. He did. And he knew he looked insane. And the more that he went to correct it, the worse it got.
Correct.
And I mean, an 18-year-old and then got it dissolved and then looked old because of it, because the elasticity in your skin gets stretched, and then you remove it, and what you're left with is totally fucked.
Correct.
I look better than him. That's crazy. And he's 18.
I feel like to see
he's good now,
his
though.
Before and after.
Yeah, he looks like a totally different. He looks beautiful. He looks beautiful.
I mean, honestly, I didn't see anything wrong with him before.
I mean,
but
he like overfilled and inflated.
But I mean,
right.
the hot dog lip situation.
And it was interesting.
I mean, it literally looked like if you did like.
It'd be like,
it would be like
it would just shoot out.
It would just like explode everywhere.
I know, and it's like so sad. But I get it too.
But I feel like he ended up doing what exactly?
He
'Cause I
got
feel
dissolved.
Like he got dissolved.
But it was a process,
But
remember?
then I think he also did like chin. I feel like his whole face was different
did he
after.
get a facelift? I think he might have.
I think he might have gotten a facelift,
Which
sounds insane.
but yeah, but after the process, like that's the only answer for him. And much
Right.
like the girl from Manchester, the podcaster that got the facelift, and she's like 34, had gotten everything dissolved, and like was left with like a 50-year-old face.
Correct.
Which, I mean, 50 doesn't always look like this, but. Yeah, and then got a facelift, and I guess she was getting shit for getting a facelift, but I mean, she looks naturally good, and now she has no poison in her face. So
she looked great.
I thought it was like
I
amazing.
think the takeaway for her is that at the end of the day, it's like what we always say, that like filler isn't always the answer. Like,
Agreed.
I mean, you and I have talked about like the threads and like how much that can be like a game changer instead of like immediately.
But look at the difference. And it's like when you're doing that, it makes so much better of a difference to like actually be doing something that over time you might see a result than rather just get the instant result. Because like, I mean, I love being like,
everybody loves to be frozen. Like when you feel like you see wrinkles and then you walk out and you're like, that shit is done. You know, that's a good feeling. But I feel like in the long run, it's like the threads is what's making all the difference.
For me, yeah. I mean, do you think that like when you first get it done, you first get your Botox. I mean, Botox for me, I'm like, I'll be doing that until like I'm RIP for sure.
Correct.
I don't really, but like filler, right? When you first get it, day 2, day 3, 1 week, it's still very swollen. So you're like, oh shit, my lips are on point. But then it starts to deflate. Not deflate, but you start like it settles in or whatever. And it's kind of like, I think that people that keep getting it are seeking that moment where it's like inflated and it looks like puffy. And like, that's why they go back in. It has to be.
I mean, I feel like since I had the filler done in my cheeks, I feel like it made such, like, honestly,
subtle.
Like the before and after, it was subtle, but I feel like it did make such a difference.
But I told you too, like, wait, because you were like, wait, I don't feel like I've had anything done, and like now,
right? But now I'm just kind of like, whoa, like it is a big difference, and I feel like, especially like if you're somebody who has like the marionettes, like if this is where you're showing your aging. I do feel like a lot of people are doing that.
I mean, it does.
So it's like, what do you feel like would be the answer to that? Because it's like, I mean, I feel like you have to go to a good injector. Shout out to Whitney because she's amazing. And, you know, she did say like, you know, we're going to go in here because we want to lift you.
Right.
We don't want to just go in and fill the line.
Like for me, the message I got is like, it's your face.
Right.
You shouldn't want what's trending. You should want what's best for yourself.
Right.
I mean, and I will say, like, who was it? There was someone on there that was like, everyone looks alike. Everyone's starting to look alike.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
And I was like, you're right.
On there, and it was a celebrity. Who was it? I can't think of it.
We're so mental
I can't think
we
of
watch
it.
4,000
I'm telling you, I can't think of it.
But
like whoever it was, I was like, oh, they're right.
They're right.
It was Black China.
Oh, it was?
It was fucking Black China.
God, she looks good.
And she looks good. Now, I will say I was shocked because when I saw her like before, like I've always thought she was a really, really pretty girl.
She's so cute.
She's so cute. She has like, I feel like her jawline, like she is snatched anyway.
Right.
The fact that she was even doing that is insane.
Yeah.
But to see the difference, like after they went in and dissolved her.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
She had a lot of really interesting points, and it was like people are following trends. Everyone's starting to look alike. I don't want to look like that. I want to look like myself. I mean, and Homegirl had like, you know, implants and all the things happening. And it's like
her without it all. I mean, and I think
she looked younger.
She looked younger. I mean, and I think that was like the message behind it is that like people are moving away from like the overfilled, like the BBLs and all of that. I mean, for a while, you and I both said, like, look, we're ready to fly on down to Miami and have it all stuck out.
I'm good with that still.
Listen, and have it shoved right in my butt cheeks. But honestly, like, I do feel like we are kind of moving away from that.
We're moving away from it. And it's kind of like, I kind of feel like if you're following a trend based on like, okay, I follow this influencer and I really love them and I want to look like them, you have to do what's good for you.
Right.
I mean, I will say, like, I think for me, it's like I keep looking at my face, and yes, I need Botox right now. I am aware. But I feel like, I would get a fucking facelift in a second. Because you know what? You're cutting the skin away. It's a permanent thing. And the doctor on the documentary said because they were like, well, if a person comes in and they get this done, what is the longevity? Like, how long do they have? And he was like, if you look 10 years younger, you will still look 10 years younger in 10 years.
Correct.
So you will age appropriately. Like, your skin will start, like, you know, it'll start aging and everything. But like, I thought that was so fucking interesting. And Black China had really good fucking points.
She really did. I mean, I was, like I said, her before and after, I was like, whoa. I mean, I was
She looked
shocked.
younger.
She looked so much younger. I mean,
I know.
I mean, and it is true. I feel like it's like, how many celebrities can you think of off the top of your head
A
that
ton.
like all have
A
the
ton.
same, you know? I mean, what was the other, like,
Courtney
other
Cox was on
procedure?
there.
Yes.
And who else?
Pamela Anderson.
Pam
because everybody was
Anderson.
talking about how
Yeah.
she's just been like embracing
like the makeup free thing. And there
Right.
was someone else, but it was just like, it's just like, I don't know. Like, I feel like authentically me is I love a full face of fucking makeup, a smoky eye, and big ass lips. Like, that's me, and that's my choice.
Yeah.
But because someone sees me and they think that looks good, it may not be for you.
Right.
So it's like we were saying last podcast, how I was like, can we bring back matte skin and MAC eyes and MAC
Yeah.
face? It's like, are we on our way to where everything is natural again? Where it's like, whatever God gave you is what we're working with. We're doing clean girl aesthetic. We're doing no Botox. We're doing, like, it feels like it's going back to before the Botox and filler thing. It does.
Does that feel weird though?
Yes.
Does that feel weird because we're so indoctrinated into feeling like we have to be perfect in every area?
Yeah.
You know?
Do you think it's different for us because we're in the beauty industry and most people don't think like us?
Yes, I do.
Well,
I think
whatever.
that I feel like it's one of those things where like ignorance is bliss.
I
And when you
know.
don't know
I know.
better, it's like you get to live there. But I feel like when you know all the things,
Look, me
You
in
know?
2010 is not me in 2025. I can tell you that 1000%.
yeah.
I had a big ass bottom lip and a skinny little top lip. I'm sure I've aged delicately because I've done all the things.
Not delicately.
I have.
You're
It's been
aging
a lot of fucking work. I don't think I would look this good had I not had it, so I'm definitely not against it.
I mean, but I think that that's like one of those things where it's like it always goes back to like the person.
I know.
You know
It's
what I mean?
individual, like
It's
personal.
individual.
Right.
Because
Right.
it's like, you know, what feels comfortable to
Right.
you might not feel comfortable to somebody else. I mean, it's like when somebody sits in the chair and they're like, we're doing their face and they're like,
This
you know,
doesn't feel like
the
me.
bags and,
It's
you know, my under eye circles. But it's like,
Yeah.
we're in the beauty industry. So it's like, we know to slap on concealer.
It's easy
or,
for us.
You know, or
Yeah.
we know like the Peter Thomas Roth that, you know,
Right.
we know the
I
product. It's
know.
just, it's different.
I know. I mean, I feel like you should just be able to embrace who you are based
Yeah.
on what you like and what you think. I mean, I feel like you and I are always going to be eccentric. Just
Always.
because we are.
Oh, wait.
But I feel like that's our vibe. That's who we are. Like, that's how we identify. Like, I don't feel like, and what's crazy is most of our clients are clean girl aesthetic.
yeah.
Most of them are looking at our page and hiring us because they want to look like themselves on an elevated level.
Correct.
But I look at me and I'm like, do people look at me and think I'm natural? Probably not.
I mean, I definitely don't think anyone's looking at you or
Nope, they're not.
thinking, like, are you natural? But I think that that's what people appreciate. you
Right.
know? I mean,
And
I
I'm
feel like
straightforward about it.
if you're sitting in the chair with somebody and you're
Yeah.
getting your makeup done, you don't want to look at them and feel like,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah, agreed.
You want to feel inspired. You want to sit in the
Yeah.
chair and be like, wow, she
I
looks really
know.
good. She's really put together. Oh my God. Can you believe she's 50?
No, and
because
Miss Sade, like, seriously though, like when people sit in your chair now, they're like, oh my God, I love your freckles. And I'm like, bitch, they're painted on. But I'm also like,
tell if I see.
no, but I'm also like, how inspiring. Like, but I love, like, because
True.
you're like me in that way where it's like, I don't mind. I'm not a gatekeeper. Like, what do you
Absolutely
like on
not.
me? What do you want? Like, yes,
Absolutely
I've had my
not.
lips done, obviously, but it's like, if you like something and you want, like, I love that about you because I feel like, just own it. I
If
mean,
you-
I kind
if
of
it-
want you to lie though, in a way. I want
if
you to be
it
like, she
makes
was
you
born like
feel
that.
good, if
Yeah.
it makes you feel good, then
Yeah.
fucking do
Then
it. I
fucking
mean,
do it.
especially when
Do it for you, not
especially like
right.
I feel like when it's like makeup because it's interchangeable. It's like
Yeah.
at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it gets all washed off, and if
It
you don't
does,
want to
and
do
it
this shit
is.
tomorrow, you don't have to.
when it gets washed
Now
off. It
listen,
looks
nobody
much different.
nobody needs to see Maybe that needs to be
child.
an episode. Maybe
You're like
that needs
sliding
to
out
be
the
an
chicken
episode
cutlets,
where,
taking the hair out, taking off the last. You're like, oh shit.
It's a whole thing.
Right.
But like to me as a woman, like that is what makes me feel good. It's like getting in the mirror, putting my makeup on. Because I'm like, oh, okay, you know.
But you also like you have to have some level of enjoyment. And for us, that's
Correct.
like therapeutic. Like I love putting my jammy jams on and listening to what were we, boom bop whatever.
Boom,
Boom
bop,
bop boom 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 bop bam. That's what is it?
I love that. Peekaboo. Kendrick Lamar. I love that fucking
song. I think I listened to it 200 times, so I was getting ready.
I literally walk around all day.
But that's like our ritual. And I feel like,
Correct.
you know, we enjoy those things. And for us, like trying a new palette or getting ready is like an experience. It's like a ritual. It's like a religion. Like we love it. But
I think that that's where like other people who like, that's not their comfort zone.
Right.
And like we always say like the Burt's Beads brides.
Burt's Beads.
I feel like for somebody like that, it's like it feels like too much, or it just feels like it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And, you know, that I can't even like process that in my brain because I'm like, what do you mean it's
That's
too
why I
like,
want you so badly to start doing more makeup because I want you to be uncomfortable with me.
So that's secretly what it is. Like,
it is because like I'm like I always look over at you on a wedding and I'm like she's so fucking lucky because my face is starting to feel like greasy and I can just tell that the person is like, oh great, you're doing my makeup, where you're behind them and you're like, oh, and like your freckles are perfect.
I will be honest with you. I do hate that when you're doing someone's makeup.
Hate it.
Because you are like here and here with somebody and it's
everything.
Like when you first did it, how, you know, in the morning it was like flawless. Yeah, but now at fucking like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
But by the way, we've been up since 4:30, okay? And like that makeup has been wearing for 6 hours.
I'm a grease pit. You are now seeing the wrinkleage
there are
happening
pores
under my eyes.
One of the freckles has like run. It's like a mole now.
but is that us being psychotic and crazy and in our head? Because I really don't think anyone's thinking that. I think that is just what we are thinking in our heads.
Most definitely.
You know?
But I want people to just like be themselves. Like stop chasing Kim K and all of the people.
And I feel like that was the message that Black China was saying on that.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like aging gracefully.
Yeah.
Like you can do the procedures and you can age gracefully, but like don't overdo it. You know?
It's crazy to think like an 18-year-old is sitting at home and going, first of all, how at 18 can you afford to get your fucking lips done? That was my first thing. I was like, what? When I was 18, my parents were like, you got to work for what you get.
But I feel like that goes back to what we were saying about like who the injector, and I feel like that's something that they addressed on there. That like
they did.
There are so many clinics that you can go to nowadays
where they're not
like,
reputable.
Somebody isn't going to be like Whitney and be like, you know what? No, I don't think that's the best thing. Let's do threads.
Right. And like the most important thing, like like I told you that about Whitney, like going in there, it's like you want someone that is a medical professional. It's not like there's like, I don't want to put anyone down, so I'm not going to say anything, but I definitely think it's important that it's someone who's like, listen, you're 18 years old.
Right.
I know you want big lips. Let's start small.
Correct.
But also I'm like, what do your parents do or what do you do that you can go in and get some lips at 18?
I mean, the thing about it is that, like,
he went overboard.
You just don't need to put that much filler in your lips over and over and over again.
No.
And I can think of people off the top of my head who are steadily going.
You know who you are.
You know who you are.
You know who you are.
Going in there and they are, you know, constantly filling. But it's like that is how you get to that point where you're just like, I have hot dog lips now, you know?
I actually love that. I would love to have hot dog lips.
I feel like hot dog lips don't look bad if they
done properly.
Like the borders, you know? Like I feel like if you've had your lips filled, you know what I mean when I say the borders.
The borders, but like
if
the
it's
outside.
Like all filled good and then you're stopping, that's your stopping point.
Yeah.
Like you can't go any further than that.
I mean, it's just so interesting to me. Like, I don't know. I really, really was fascinated with that documentary because it was like, because the Lindsay Lohan of it all, she's like, everybody wants her face for Christmas and all the things. And I'm like, that's because she has like, but she had shit done. She was dissolved. She had a facelift.
Yeah.
She had the blepharoplasty. She had all those things that like, those are permanent things.
Correct.
That as she ages, homegirl is going to be 10 years behind everybody else because she did all the things. face.
That was my
want a
takeaway from it.
facelift.
That was my fucking takeaway from it. Is that like, I feel like in the past we were like, oh, you don't need a facelift until you're like 50.
Yeah.
But
They're saying 20s is
now they're
okay.
saying like you can be 35 and you can have a facelift.
They're saying 20s.
I think it's preventative, and I think
exactly.
I think it's preventative. I think if it's done with a doctor who knows what they're doing, like it's good. I just think that when you overdo it, or if you go to someone who is just trying to get the check, then you run the risk of looking.
Do your research.
Do your research.
Don't be going to Joe Blow down the road. No,
you know, it's like a year, 2 years ago, everybody was, getting a BBL.
Don't be stenchy on your fucking face. Like,
at the end of the day, do what's going to make you feel good.
Right.
But like, do the research to make sure
use the right person.
Whoever you're going to is reputable.
Yeah. When they were talking about like you don't know what people are injecting you with, I was like, oh my God, imagine that shit. Imagine Aria comes home and she's like, Mom, and she's like 28 and you're what? 40 something at this point, which I'm loving because I'll be like 100. But she's like, I want a facelift. What in the world? I would be like, okay, if that's what you want to do. Because I'm like, you know what? I would rather you do that than fill your face full of filler.
I mean, I just think
29 facelift. Whew.
I mean, I think that like
young.
If you're getting a facelift at 25, I think that like what do you look like?
I feel like it goes deeper.
Do you know?
Yeah.
To me, that you getting a facelift at 25 is you went crazy and you did a whole bunch of things and then you got dissolved like the one person.
Right.
And
it's not like.
And now you're deflated. Right. This isn't like.
I want to be
you're
more
just
youthful.
Like correct.
Right.
I just think that's two different things.
Or like something happened. Like, I don't know. I think it's a case by case basis. Because like, what if you were being teased and you didn't have like a super symmetrical face and that could help you?
Yeah. I mean, you want to know what I loved? I loved that Black China was being transparent about it. That's what I love. I love any celebrity who is transparent and just owns that like, I fucking got my boobs done. Yeah, I got my teeth fixed. Like Cardi B. I love that she shouted that out in her song and she was like, I got my fucking teeth fixed, bitch. Like, what?
That's right. I got money. I'm fixing my grill. Like,
I'm like, to somebody else, they're probably like, ooh, that's so ratchet. But I'm like, I love that.
I do too, because she's human.
She's human.
And it's relatable.
She owns it.
No, but if y'all have not seen that documentary, you need to check it out, because to me it was very resonating.
Hulu.
I know. Were you mad that like I told you about it and then you watched it and you were like, she already told me all this shit?
No, because because it was like, it was super interesting to me, because I'm like, you know, I wouldn't have thought about it in that way.
Yeah.
But once I saw it, I was just kind of like, oh, okay.
It makes a lot of sense. And I will say, like, the doctors they had on there, they were like frowning. They were like, listen, like, are we encouraging you to come get a facelift at 29? No, but like, it's a better option than, going to someone uneducated and getting your lips filled.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with all of that though. I feel like, I don't know. It's like, it's a fine line.
What do you think about us moving away from that?
I'm fine
with
as
a society.
I'm fine with it. Like, I don't know. I go back and forth.
Do you think that we'll ever get to a point where, like, people who are still doing that will be, like, judged, and, like, people who aren't, like, doing it and they're just aging?
1,000%.
Like, I think that's fucked up, though, honestly.
Agreed. I do, too.
Because I think that in some way, shape, or form, we all are kind of chasing youth a little bit.
I think you have to, like, I don't know. Like, I've been thinking about it. I'm like, am I going to do more filler? Probably not. Am I going to do threads? Check. Do I want a facelift? Fuck yeah. But do I have 40 grand to lay down for that? Not at this time, but hopefully soon.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think like doing the skincare and taking care of yourself, like drink the water. Yeah. Does every doctor in America say that? Yeah. But like do all the things and then then make the decision on like, I don't know. I mean, do I think in your 20s you need a facelift? But I think it's a case-by-case thing. I'm like, do you? I don't fucking care.
I agree.
You know what? If you're 29 and you're in the room with me, and I'm going to be jealous that you had one.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, I wish that was me.
I mean, I feel like if there was an improvement done, then
I feel like your parents are cool, so they probably would be like, "Oh, that's amazing." My parents would be like, "Fuck no." They would be like, "No, you don't need any of that stuff."
Yeah, I don't think they would. I don't think my parents would really care. I think that if I felt good about it, I mean, would they like rag on me a little bit? Sure, but I think that at the end of the day, they don't care.
I just think it's different. I mean, we're just like in a different generation where like everything is exposed.
Correct.
I mean, and I will say, like, Lindsay Lohan's glow up is insane. It's like, it's unbelievable, honestly. It's unbelievable. And
I mean, I think it reversed her. Reversed her.
Yeah.
I feel like it brought her career back. from the, like.
I mean, it's crazy how much better.
Yeah.
I mean, but I do think she had life choices. Like, she stopped drinking. She drank more water. She started taking care of her skin. Like, all those things fucking matter. Like, you can't just, like, get a facelift and think your whole life is, like,
No.
you know what I mean? Like, you have to make
all
the decisions. So, anyways, that's where I sit.
But it's all the things.
But if anyone out there wants to give me a facelift, I'm 100%, I will drive to your house right now.
CG Cosmetics.
I know. That's all I want. I just want the Eve lift. That is my dream.
For forever. The Eve lift.
That's all I want.
And why do you feel that way?
Because I want the Eve lift.
Please enlighten everybody on why you feel like the Eve lift.
You know what it is? It's the after treatment that you get when you get the Eve lift. So you fly down, you get the Eve lift, and then they put you, like, it's like an hour surgery or something like that. Instant results. Like, you see it, like, he's like, here's the mirror, and you're like, oh my God, I look amazing. And then you have, like, someone who takes care of you, and you have a room there. For like,
but I think
3 days.
I think you can get that with other surgeries too. Not just the Eve lift, but I love you.
Is your face hurting? Here, come, let me help you to the back. I love that. I'm like, please take care of me after my facelift. Eve lift. Can I just get a facelift? Can you just sponsor us so I can get a facelift?
Guys,
I want an Eve lift.
Please give her the Eve lift.
Yes.
She will shout you out. She will promote you.
I will fly down
for the rest
tomorrow.
of her life.
Yes.
I feel like you will promote. You would literally.
Literally, I saw.
You're not a gatekeeper. You would be the person to tell everybody, I had an Eve lift and I'm living.
Here's my before and after, motherfuckers. There was a woman on there because she was the same age as me and she was also a makeup artist, but she's out of Miami. Her before and after was fucking insane. It was nuts.
Okay, wait. I'm trying to go back in the list because you send me like
I know.
before and after
her fucking facelift back. So it's a problem. I literally send her facelift photos
in my mind and like remember who this one was.
Well, I send her facelift photos all the time because it's like someone who's like in their late 40s and doesn't really look bad, but then the after is like they look 25.
True.
I mean, it's crazy.
It is true.
I'm like, that should be me. That's all I want.
I mean, but also, listen, if this is you at 50.
I mean, imagine that though.
But I get it. Like, I understand because it's like,
aging is hard.
Aging is hard and it is hard to embrace that.
When you sound like this.
It's hard to embrace that.
My inside is like 22 and my outside is not.
I mean, and I think that's the thing with aging is that like, I feel like there are some women who say that they are aging gracefully, and I would never do that.
I would never.
But I feel like, look at are you really happy? Because I'm the type of person like
you're not.
Pamela Anderson is
fucking
serving.
gorgeous.
She's standing on top of business when she says, "Fuck makeup, fuck aging."
On that Vogue shoot,
correct. She's like, you know what? This is me now.
Yeah,
and I'm living.
But own it.
But she's owning it.
Yeah,
we talked about this many times.
We always say own it.
Where people, are like, I would never, do Botox or the Eve lift.
Yeah.
But then it's like you're sitting in the chair and you're like, oh, are you bringing your scalpel to cut my? And it's like,
right, because you do actually want to have something done.
Guess what? Pat McGrath Labs ain't taking you back to
1985.
It's not, Or
just like own the beautiful self that you are, and like what makes you old is like saying that shit.
It does because and like and also the mentality, like we've said before, with exhilaration, like. Where would you want to?
Exhilaration, can you please sponsor?
Because I can think of many people off the top of my head right now that are stunning and look great. But if we put them in a different outfit, it would immediately take them 20 years back. And people would be confused about how old they really are. Right. I mean, if they fucking care. If that's what they want.
Can we just start that show back up, What Not to Wear?
Listen,
I would love that.
Pull people off make them over Richmond and say, you are a fucking diamond in the rough.
Yes.
Let's bring you in.
Because they're not happy because they're hiding under their ball cap and they've got baggy clothes, but underneath they have body. They have a great mind.
Well, and I feel like we've seen this time and time again. Mom comes in. Mom is, mom.
Right,
not
very
feeling
mom.
Feeling great.
Right.
She gets into hair and makeup. She gets into that fucking dress. Mom is now serving.
Mom is serving.
Is no longer mom.
Telling herself.
Mom is a different mom.
It is now mom's trial.
Correct.
It is no longer the bride's trial.
No longer the mom that walked through the door. Mom is a whole different vibe.
No, I love that.
And I love that.
But they're leaving in their cardigan,
right,
with their mom jeans and their loafers. However, if we could like take them after the hair and makeup, put them in something that we thought fit them. We should be the what not to wear people.
I would actually love that. What not to wear, please.
I'm telling
again,
you,
like
I think that we would kill that.
I just think it would be fun, and I think
not that there's anything wrong with people like with what they're wearing, but it's like giving someone
feel
confidence.
Like it's that confidence.
Yeah,
and maybe like we're addicted to that because I feel like that's kind of what we do for a living.
Yeah,
like
making people feel
making people feel pretty and happy, and that is a good feeling.
There's like so many times that we do this though that I feel like it's like superficial, but like looks aren't everything, but they actually are, because it's like that's your face in the mirror in the morning. That's your outfit you're putting on. There's nothing like getting dressed in an outfit that makes you feel like, and I'm sure there's people that look at me and go, bitch, you're 50, what the fuck are you wearing? But if it makes me feel good and I feel confident, what does it matter?
Because at the end of the day, it's like you feel good.
You feel good, you feel relevant, like you feel pretty, you feel
confident.
Right.
Now this man at the bar is offering to buy you
I'm not paying for any drinks.
I don't see any downsides to that. I don't.
Your daughter is seeing you in a confident mindset. We have seen, and honestly, not to like blast anybody out there, but it's like we have seen moms on weddings where the mom we had not met before prior, and the mom is having a mental breakdown where she's like, I'm old and everyone's going to see my wrinkles. And you watch the bride, literally get in her chair and she starts to like, it rubs off on your kid.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't see anything wrong with like being a confident woman and like showing your child that, and letting them see that. My daughter, if I say to my daughter, and you know what, whatever, it may be cocky, I don't care. But if I'm like, Zoe, you are so cute. She's like, I know. And I love that for her.
I love that.
And I'm going to continue to tell her that until she's 45.
Yeah. I feel like that is like a direct reflection to your like children, like especially daughters, like however you are.
And even my son too.
Getting into your bathing suit and you're like, oh, I'm so, then it's like, that is like and because we see that all the time. Like bride gets in the chair and we're like, oh, it makes sense.
It makes
now,
sense. It makes sense.
It's like that, and that's
I know.
why they're
I told
like
Milo. I told Milo this morning. I was like, "You look so good in red, buddy." He's like, "I know."
I love that.
And I'm like, you know what? That doesn't make him cocky. That makes him confident. And like, you can like rub that off on your children. Yep. Like, I don't even care.
The world is a hard place.
It is.
As it is.
It is.
So it's like, why not send them off into the world with a little extra confidence, a little extra pep in their step, because Lord knows you need it.
Exactly.
I fucking need that shit when I wake up in the morning. Okay.
Me too.
So
if I was not with someone that complimented me around the clock, it would be over.
Correct.
I need you to be like, you are beautiful. Look at you coming down those stairs. You look amazing. I'm like, oh my God, every day is prom. It's like,
it's true.
And then Sade and I get in the car. And then we get in the car. We're like, oh my God, you're so pretty. Oh my God, you're so pretty. The moral of the story, find yourself a friend that tells you how beautiful you are every day.
Everybody needs that. Everybody deserves that.
Agreed.
Seriously, everybody fucking needs that.
And think about that. If you're a mom and your daughter is getting married and you're like, like it's like that is setting the tone for your bride to be like, we've seen it firsthand. You know where and you know who.
You know who.
Child bride.
Who you are.
Child bride. Mom was like, oh, I just feel like, I'm so old. And like you saw. Which,
by the way,
she was gorgeous. I'm like, what the hell?
And I think like that's the thing. It's like,
it doesn't matter how pretty you are if your confidence is
it doesn't. If the confidence isn't there, it's not there.
That like broke my heart.
It does.
She turned into like a little girl and like she was like, are you sure? I just don't know. Do you think it's too much? And I'm like, girl, we did this at the trial.
I feel like that day we were like, bye, you look so beautiful. Remember, she was just kind of like in the mirror, like we were like, yeah, are you okay?
Blink twice if you want us to say,
ma'am, are you
Never
okay?
saw photos from that wedding either.
Yeah, very strange.
Very strange.
I think that we always talk about women's perspective, but I feel like men also need compliments.
Men like a more natural girl.
I think men do like a natural girl, but I feel like they need compliments as well.
Agreed.
I feel like men don't get complimented as much as we do. Like we can go to the gas station and look a hot fucking mess and have fucking
and a man will be like
Cheeto dust and
not Cheeto dust.
Literally like the darkest, and like there will be some man there that will literally hold the door for you. Yes. Or be like, oh, how you doing? And it's like guys don't get that all the time.
Even when I was pregnant, it would be like I'd be pumping gas.
Oh, I feel like I got hit on.
And then I turned around and like it would be like, woo, girl. And I turned around and be like, you like this?
Being pregnant made me realize that there are a lot of freaky deaky men out there that love themselves a pregnant woman because let me tell you something, the amount of doors that were held open for me, the amount of compliments.
I loved it.
I actually had, I don't know about you, but I actually had guys like hit on me when I was pregnant. Like actually try to get my number.
I'm like, you like that? And he's like, actually, you're like,
which I'm just kind of like
another man's baby.
I'm like, isn't this weird? Because there's like a whole like other man's baby up in here. Like,
oh, let me get up in there.
Right. It's very strange.
And it's so funny because like that is when you feel like the most ugly person.
Yes.
There were times I felt beautiful.
Listen, and that third trimester, when you're like 8-9 months pregnant, you are no longer sleeping good. Like,
no, you're not putting mascara on.
Correct.
You're not.
Your lips are swollen. Your whole body is swollen.
And they're like, oh, damn, baby, you look sexy. And you're like, I want to fucking die right now. Like,
you're like, I want to jump on this fucking counter inside of this convenience store for my baby and get this shit out of me.
Kill me now.
And it's like,
and then your friends are like, you look so beautiful. And you're like, you're a fucking liar. I do not look beautiful right now.
As my children would say, stop the cap because it is not true.
It is not true. I mean, there is no, like, at the end, you're just like, get this.
The end is so, The end is
brutal.
Miserable.
You're not sleeping. You're so swollen. You're like, how are those my feet? Because I'm pretty sure I was like a size 7 and like now I'm a 10. Like what?
But like a whole different, once you've like experienced like being pregnant though, it's like, it changes your perspective on everything. It's like before like going to the gynecologist, you're like, oh God, I like dread it.
Don't look.
After you have a baby, you're like, hello. Yeah,
welcome
exactly.
To the jungle,
Are you done? Okay, cool.
You're like flipping through your phone. You're like,
did you want me to scoot down a little bit more?
It's so true. I know. I used to be like, okay.
I used to dread that. It's like, all women can say that like they have the same. There's not one woman who has not had that experience where they're like, okay, slide on down a little bit more, and the fucking paper, and you're like sliding down, and there's just like a lot happening. Ugh, it's a whole thing.
Do you like a woman doctor or a man doctor?
I've seen both.
What is your preference?
I
prefer a woman.
I hate to say, I kind of actually like a man doctor. I do.
Freak.
I kind of like a man doctor.
And
I know that sounds like
look it.
freaky deaky, but like I kind of like a man doctor because I feel like it's like there is no judgment there. He doesn't have a vagina. Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't.
He doesn't have a vagina. Like, so it's just kind of like, it's very just kind of like, we're going through the order of operations.
I just feel like I have a golden vagina, and I feel like if the man is down there, he's going to fall in love. So I have to like save him the trouble.
Have you
of having a woman?
Have you?
No, I have not. I have not. I feel like I would feel very strange about that.
I mean, I feel like it's different. Like, guys, do you want a male or female doctor? Like,
female doctors are a little judgmental. You're right.
I feel like I feel like with a female doctor, it's like they have a vagina. I feel like they're going to be a little bit more judgmental because they have a.
This is a topic for a different day because I'm telling you what, like, because I don't want to put out there like what's happening down there, but it's not much like hair going on, and I feel like
it's very exposed.
I feel like the women judge me. Like, what do you think? You're fucking 12? Like, I feel like sometimes they're like, oh. You ever like, do you ever sit there and you're like, what are they going to say when they come in here? And
I honestly, what goes in my mind is like, I'm like, oh God, I'm like, did I do a good job? Right. Like, are they like, bitch, there's a whole patch down here.
Did you missed? I know. I think the same thing. And then
that
I'm like, oh God.
Through my head. It's not even like being.
Do you ever like try to get your butt?
Spread eagle. Not that my whole fucking vagina is exposed. It's. Is there a patch that I missed?
Yes.
And is she looking at it right now like, girl, you missed a whole patch down here?
But you're
like,
not.
Yeah.
No, I always try to make my butt look cute. So I like scoot it down and try to like make there's no like extra skin or anything. And I'm like, but it's so stressful.
Skin of it all.
I know. I just want it to look like a perfect little peach down there. You know, it's like it's so awkward. I hate the whole fucking thing.
I feel like that.
Zoe is going to lose her shit when she has to go do that. I'm telling you right now.
I think that when you experience it as like a teenager, it's very uncomfortable. It's awful.
Mine is going to a girl. That's just the way it is. That's how I feel.
Yeah, no, I think that I definitely would take them to a girl. Now, when they're older, that's a different story. Decision, whatever.
Right.
But
yeah. How did we get on this? How did we start? Oh, we were talking about being pregnant. Okay. I swear to God, I feel like sometimes we just like,
At
It's like
some
we're in
point
the
it
car.
always goes off
Mhm.
into something that is totally unhinged and not what we were
Literally,
talking
but
about. But it's like, you know what though? This is real shit, and this is
Yes.
what women actually think about.
Yes.
Do we think about Botox and all that? Yes. But do
Yes.
we actually think about like
Getting a pap
what the fuck
smear?
are other people thinking when they're getting a pap smear? Yes. We
Yes.
also think about that as
Oh
well.
my God. Like, and then like got to get a mammogram. Have you ever had a mammogram? You should get one if you have not had one, by the way, because you're getting up there. You're 35.
I have not, but I have heard the horror stories of the mammogram. It's like they
It
put
is
your,
so
and
weird.
it's like they sandwich
I
your
have
fucking
implants,
boob.
so mine is different. They do mine sideways, which is wonderful.
What is happening? Like, are they
squish
like
it.
so? Insert boob,
Your boobs are
and then they're
real.
just like
Yes,
boom.
they're making a pancake. They can't do that to mine because it would pop my implant, which is fabulous. So I don't have
But
to go
is
through
it
all
a
that.
machine?
Yeah,
And it just squishes
There's
down as hard
nothing
as
like-
it can because I will scream.
I'm telling you, it is. And like you set it in there, and they're like, okay, and they're like, move a little to the left, and you're just like, this is fucking weird. But like, I'm a comedian, right? So I'm like, do you
Is
like
that
it like
good?
that or like this? And they're like I'm just trying to make.
I have to make like light in situations
Same,
like that because
just
it's too awkward.
It's
Otherwise,
so awkward.
It
You
is.
just like poor Zach is like, why is this the episode? No, it's so true though. It's like such and like you've been with a partner, like you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you've been nude in front of people, but that for some reason is such a vulnerable thing. Cause you just I don't feel like people are like looking at me or judging me, but you're just like, it's me and this machine and whatever is happening inside of
and
me.
whoever's back here
Yeah.
assessing what's going on with my boob.
Correct.
Right.
It's like, okay, now hold it. And you're just like, where am I fucking going?
Right.
You have to sit in there. And then I'm like, and then of course I'm like joking. I'm like, can I see what it looks like?
Oh my god.
You know?
I mean, and it's literally like pancaking your
Mine is this way.
Or is it
Yours
like a
will be like
cone?
this. No, yours is like this. It's like two pieces of plexiglass that is just squishing your tit. Good luck.
I mean,
I didn't have
can
to do that.
Is there like a safe word? Like
There's not. You're fucked.
Like at what point does it stop squishing it?
I'm not
That's
really
scary.
sure. They had to stop squishing mine because mine is fake. So get fake.
They're like,
boobs.
that's just gonna explode.
I'm like, I'm fine. They had to like
Scary.
reposition it to where it like goes sideways because I was like, but yeah, it's like, and it's weird because like you're in there. So I went to the VP, whatever, what is it, the Virginia?
yeah,
position.
VPFW.
And you go in there and it's like there's so many women in there. It's almost like you're in a spa, but you're not. They're like, okay, get in this booth and put your robe on. And then you put the robe on and you're like sitting there. And there's like little nooks that all these people are all sitting and they're like, you're freaked out because you're like, this could be the end. Like you're just like, and everybody's feeling
And
the same
everyone's
way.
feeling the same
and
way.
it's
You
all
know
different
what?
ages.
That
it's
is so valid because I feel like every time I would go to the gynecologist when I was like,
yes, you're
pregnant,
just looking at each other like,
I feel
here
like
we go.
we're all it's a weird experience.
It's
right?
weird.
Like we're all just sitting in this room.
Yeah.
We're like looking around and like some of us are fucking pregnant, so we're like, oh, we know what you were.
We know what, right.
And then some of us we're like, oh, is she here for an STD? Like,
Yes.
you know, it's like all
Yes.
the things are going in your head, and
Yes.
you're like not trying to be judgmental, but you're also like, oh, I wonder what she's
what
here
she's
for.
what's she
Like,
in for?
You know,
Right.
it's a weird experience.
It's a
Listen,
weird
being a woman
experience.
in
It's
general is just
correct.
an experience.
It really is.
Being a woman is an experience.
I
in
hate all
itself.
those scenarios.
All the scenarios.
Every time I go in, I'm like, I have cancer. Like I just
I-
that's where my mind instantly goes. I'm like, here we go. Here it comes. It's so
because you
scary.
get that phone call and you're like,
Yeah.
actually, we need to have you, and you're like, oh my god,
I
you know,
know.
like
I know.
I'm gonna have to go through chemo, like all the things start going.
You're
through your
already like,
head.
I'm getting wigs. Like
yeah,
the whole
it's- and they're like, oh, you're fine.
and you're like, wait, what?
There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with you.
There's nothing wrong with you. Thank God, because yeah,
I mean, it's not easy being a woman.
that's not easy being a woman or a man or a boy.
Well, you know what?
I feel for
I'll
my
say
kid-
it's
my
fucking
son,
fun
too.
as shit though. I wouldn't have it any other
Oh,
way. I wouldn't.
hell no.
I wouldn't want to be a guy. I don't want to have a penis.
I like an
don't wanna have
innie,
fucking
not an
balls.
outie. I'm good.
I don't want to have any of that. I don't like.
No.
No offense, Zach. I just, you know, I just don't.
Poor
I
Zach.
don't want to.
None taken.
Zach's like, thanks for including me right now.
Think about that sometimes. I'm just kind of like, I don't want
I know.
anything hanging between my legs. I just, ew.
I feel like being a guy is hard too, though. It has its own difficulties. Not as much as a woman, but difficult.
Like what?
I'm not really sure. I'm not one.
Like what?
I'm not really sure. Getting
Give
people
us-
pregnant?
Okay, but
Knowing,
you know,
maybe like knowing
we all
if a
know
girl.
how babies are made. And guess what?
concur.
They get the choice to either be present or to exit stage left. We don't really get that option.
Facts.
It's there. Once it's there, it's there.
I feel like some men are like maternal and some are not. I learned that on Younger.
I agree with that. No,
You know, some, like,
I
are, like,
totally agree with that.
don't you
I
think
feel
that
like,
some men are like, I want to be a father, like their whole lives?
yeah, Michael. Like,
Really?
yeah, oh my God. Like
That's awesome.
literally, like I do. Like I feel like he
Aw,
was like the
I love
best
that.
dad. Like he loved when they were infants. Like I'll be honest, I didn't wake up a whole lot when I was like when they were newborns, I didn't wake up. It was Michael that was doing a lot of that stuff, not
Oh,
me,
that's so
honestly.
sweet. He is a really good dad.
But honestly, I
Yeah.
agree with you. Some men have that and then some
I
men
remember
don't.
like coming home like from work because I went immediately went back into weddings because I was like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Like I love a stay at home mom. Good, like good for. I was like, that is not me. I can't. I'm like, I need to go to work and forget that I just had a person come out of
Come
my
out of my
body.
vagina,
Right.
yeah.
And like I would come home and like Milo, I just remember like we were in our starter house and Milo was sitting in the boppy and he had and Scott was watching him, right? And he had headphones on that were like Beats, so they were like huge. And he's sitting in the boppy and Scott has the bottle like propped up like a gerbil and Milo's like I'm like, what in the fuck is going on? Like, it's so funny to like see how they do things. I'm like,
I
this
will
is crazy.
I agree with you because I do feel like men are
If we
very
did that, it would be like child abuse. Like,
no. I feel like men are very innovative when
they
it comes to,
are.
like how
Oh, the
they do
rocking with the
stuff.
foot and all that. And I'm like, oh my God. And
Yeah.
we're like, oh my gosh, come here, Angel.
Well, even
You know?
like you've seen that like video that went like viral. This was like years ago with like the dad who tied like a bunch of balloons to the baby and like waited till the mom got
Oh,
home
and the baby was like,
is like in the air, like yeah, and they're like, oh my gosh, you know.
I love
It's
that
like the
though.
shit that goes through their heads.
They're very
like,
inventive.
They're very inventive.
I love that. I know. I just remember walking in and being like, did you have a good, oh, I see how it, like mechanical, like you've got this worked out where the baby is totally, when we're home, it's like, like,
Right.
I'm just
And that-
like,
and,
oh,
like baby is on your hip. You're like
baby is on your teeth.
slippering and you're
Right.
like doing all the things with the baby on you.
And
or
he's
like
got him
strapped to
setting
your
up-
chest. Oh my God.
Baby Einstein on the iPod. I just remember, or on the iPad. Baby Einstein on the headphones. I just remember his head was like the headphones were like this. I have a literal picture. Is the funniest thing, and the bottle is here, so he can like. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here?
Did you strap them to your chest?
I tried Baby Bjorn. It was not for me. I felt like he was
Even
suffocating.
when you were like cleaning and like doing. Oh my
Nope.
gosh, I thought
I was
that
more
like, the best
backpacky than I
thing.
was like, because to me, like when they were here, it was like they were suffocating. I was
See,
like,
I feel like I was mental and like if they were on my back, like I couldn't like.
oh,
really
I was the
see, like,
opposite.
what
I was mental
going
because I
on.
felt like they were suffocating. But Scott was like, he's fine. And I'm like, oh my God, I just can't tell. I got a lot of boobs.
I feel like I kept it like loose enough that their head.
maybe that
like-
was my problem.
Like yeah, you
Like-
might have had them a little
like-
too tight.
like you can't even breathe. I just remember like Milo being on the floor and Scott would be like, look, he's a pancake. He'd be like, tss, and he would like flip him over and Milo would be like, ah. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I feel like we just worry about everything. I'm not saying guys, like dads aren't important because
Right.
they are, but like, I just remember Scott would be so playful and fun. And I would be the one like, did he eat? Is he okay? Is he choking? Is he?
Yes.
And it would be like, oh, look, he's having cereal. And he'd be like, like in the chair. And you're just like,
Nothing prepares you
Right.
for when like the baby rolls off the bed or the dresser
Or the changing
whatever,
table.
or the that is the scariest. And like I feel like everybody who has a child had a moment where the
Oh, for
baby
sure.
rolled off. or
Yes.
did something.
that was
and
like one of Scott and I's first fights.
literally.
Yeah. We were
literally.
like, we both had the changing table. The changing table is like here. And I just remember like, oh, you got him, right? And literally all I hear is, and then, and I'm like, you were watching him. He's like, you were watching him. And Milo's like, and he was fine. And I'm like, what the fuck? And like, that's the first time I learned that babies are durable. Cause I thought for sure it was like,
it's like
was like a
learning
smack
the
on the-
resilience behind a baby.
Yeah.
Like that is the scariest thing ever.
it's
like
crazy.
I mean,
First 3 months
literally-
is scary.
I don't know about you. I just remember like driving home from the hospital and like they're in the thing
They're
and like their head is they have no like neck control, so they're
No.
just like flailing
I
around and
know.
you're like, oh my God, like I
know.
am responsible for this thing.
I know.
Like,
And it came out.
literally.
I just remember thinking that thing came out of my body. Like,
seriously.
fucking gross. That's all I remember thinking. Then I like fell in love, of course.
Do you
but, like,
remember the feeling of when they came out? Like
No.
when you were in
C-section,
there.
zip. I got a zipper. So
Well,
good.
I can say that the feeling when you don't have a C-section is it's the most bizarre feeling. It's very hot. It's very
Really?
warm.
It
They
is?
yes, you feel them like pull the baby out of you and it's just
kill me now.
And then they put the baby on your chest, and it's just so warm, and you're just kind of like, what?
That was just inside of me. I saw this fucking TikTok video yesterday, and it was like a mom in the kitchen with like her husband and her 3 children, and she was like, it was like the moment you realize everyone in the kitchen has been inside of you.
Yes, I saw that. That was like, oh my God.
No, but I never experienced that, but like, I had an emergency C-section, so it was different for me. I've never felt a contraction or anything, but I just remember like the panic up to the minute where you're like going into the hospital. I mean, you're registered and everything, and I just remember thinking, I'm going to poop. That's like all I could think was like, I'm going to poop on the doctor, and having the most anxiety about that. And then the emergency situation happened. First time was super scary. But, like, I just remember them being like, here's your baby. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't know what's happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that thought went through my mind, too. I had the same thought.
There and you're like, oh, my God.
I know. And
like, Mila, oh, my God, crying. I was shaking, too, because the drugs, you know, so you're just like.
Yes, and it's like the shock. It's like the adrenaline.
You created a fucking human, like, literally.
And you're, like, shaking. You're crying because you're like, oh, my God.
Do you remember when they washed Kay's hair? Like, when they, like, because, like, they tell you, they're like, babies will experience, like, imagine your hair being washed for the first time, like, ever. And, like, you see this baby experiencing a feeling they've never felt before. And I just remember Milo, like, because they do that
they look
thing,
so
and they're like, they're just so happy to, like, the head washing. I just was like, this is the coolest thing. I'm going to cry. I can't talk about
their little, like,
I know.
head and their hair, and then, like, rinse it under the water, and they're, like, holding their little head
brush.
Like that. Oh, my God, the little brush.
The little yellow brush. Did you have the yellow one? I feel like, why is all this stuff the same, by the way?
No, but I just feel like but it is the most amazing. Zach, when you guys experience, it's literally amazing. You're going to be,
I was like, oh my God, he's so, but I remember when I got pregnant with Zoe, I was like, she's going to be fucking ugly, because Milo was so.
You are insane. Your children are beautiful.
They are, but like, I just remember, that was the first thing. So like, the whole way leading up, Milo was such a Cupid. Like, he had the long hair. He was a beautiful baby. Everywhere we went, people were like, you can have this ice cream for free, because he was so pretty. And like, so Scott and I were convinced. I was like, Zoe's going to be ugly. I'm like, the first thing Scott said when she came out, he was like, oh my God, she's beautiful. I was like, thank God. Because like, I just was like, that was all I worried about, was like, if my baby was going to be ugly. But she wasn't that cute, actually.
Ugly. I worried if they were going to be bald. I didn't want to have a bald baby.
Did you have a bald baby?
No.
None of them were bald?
None of them were a bald baby, but I was so paranoid. I was like, they're going to have no hair, and they're going to be
You have the most beautiful children I've ever seen.
Bald baby. I mean, I feel the same
they're
about your
so,
kids.
I know. We do have really good looking babies.
It's actually true.
But now they're like older, so then you got to watch them grow and change.
This is us, like, just, you know, going down memory lane.
Not us going from plastic surgery to having children.
To going to the gynecologist.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? Welcome to the show, everybody.
I mean, this is the crazy shit that goes on in our
But every woman thinks this.
I think agreed. All women have these fucking thoughts. All women think about this.
How many like pregnant women have you like chatted with, like, oh, it's gonna be like, you're like,
exactly,
I've been through it, girl, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And then they're like, I just worry that I'm gonna poop on the doctor. And I'm like, girl, we all fucking think that same shit. We all think it. And it's relatable in that way. We all are scared. We all are like, I remember the first time I looked down and saw a hand like in my stomach, like moving my stomach around, and I was like, ew.
It's the scariest thing.
This is disgusting.
It's the scariest thing.
And like, we're all like made that way. And like, those are like the common denominators that we all like deal with. Yeah. That's why I think like beauty is relevant in that way too. It's like, we all think this shit. Let's stop like hyper focusing and like criticizing people. I think that's fucked up. Like, I'm over it. Like, if someone wants hot dog lips, let them have them.
Let them have the fucking hot dog.
If they want to be natural, great. Like, that's what we tell our brides, right? Like, it's like, you want to be natural. You want to be, so you do all of those things.
If
embrace yourself. Embrace it.
Gray hair. Like,
we're not criticizing you. We just want to be on what's not to wear and be on the streets and make you over. That is our only request.
Correct.
That is it. You're welcome, world.
I love that.
I even have like the little gray piece coming in here. I could be Stacy on what's not to wear. It's like a little
I have
gray.
A bunch of grays.
I don't
I only like bit. I was plucking them, and now I've just stopped.
Oh, you're embracing it.
I'm just gonna see what happens.
What the fuck ever. This bitch is gonna be dyeing her hair black in a few days.
I don't think I will. I don't think I will. I think that if I
contrast is cool,
slaying my makeup and stuff like that, I don't really think I will care so much.
Nothing about you is old. Let me go ahead and just clear that up for you.
I actually feel like it might be kind of
I think the freckles took you back 5 more years, though.
I love that.
And
I know every time I see my sister, she's like, here we go with the fucking freckles.
You're like, you're just a hater.
Listen, I'm like, these were meant to be on my face.
If Tony could put freckles on his face, he fucking
God
would.
fucking forgot them. And so now I am just sprinkling them on my face because they should be there.
It's like an angel.
I love it.
It's a literal fucking angel.
Who knows? One day I might wake up and just
like, and those are your real lashes too right now.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Aren't those yours?
No.
Oh,
Are you
yours always look so real.
Mine are not
Listen,
real.
if those are clusters, those are the best fucking clusters I've ever seen in my life.
And trust me, I get in the mirror and I get frustrated. I'm like, God damn it, I wish I had long lashes. And mine are super straight. They're like the most straight lashes you've ever seen in your life.
Moral of the story is that we all have...
Like, you're done.
No, because moral of the story is
we all have our
shit.
No, true. Facts.
It's going back to what you said. Like, we all have our shit. We all
Isn't that relatable, though? It's like, why can't we all just love each other?
Yeah.
I mean, no shade. Like, I love inspiring others, but I'm also inspired by other women. Like, when we're out, we're always like, oh my God, did you see that? She is so cute. Like, why can't we have that mindset all the time?
Yeah, and not gatekeep. And
correct.
Like, oh my God, where did you get? Or you have fake freckles. What? Like, what is?
Not us. We're like, bitch, this is Zara.
I'm like, I'll send
on
it
sale.
You.
Right.
From Amazon.
Correct. A lot of times it's from Amazon.
It's the link.
Most often. Yes, I know. Well,
should we cheers?
We should.
Are we signing off?
Thanks for coming along with us today. I feel like we were like all over the place, but you know what? That's our friendship. I feel like this is a car conversation.
I mean, these are the real conversations that happen in our brains.
To be continued in the car. Like, correct. It literally, that is us.
Correct.
You guys should follow along with us on a car ride to a wedding.
I feel like that needs to be the next.
That should be. You guys need to tell Zach to follow. Who the fuck is Jack? It's giving. It's giving. What is it?
It's giving the margaritas have entered your bloodstream.
Can Jack follow us on the wedding?
She can't even talk. She's like, oh
my God! And like Zach.
And on the next episode,
I did not sound like that, did I? Whatever. Fuck Sade, okay? Whatever. Cheers. All right, cheers. We love you guys. You didn't even cheers me. Bitch. Cheers. Look at mine and look at yours. I fucked up.